Welcome you to CEOG Connect. My name is Godfrey Ajayi Sunday. I'm one of the anchor for CEOG Connect. Unfortunately, Mr. Osai Lume had to go on a journey, so I'll be on it today, digging it. And of course, what are we into? CEOG Connect, trying to position CEO to be able to see, to play in the space of trying to grow their MSME to the next level. And as we have often said, you know, if you're a micro enterprise today, that's not a crime. You try to move that micro enterprise to becoming a small business. From small business, you move it to a large, to a medium business. From medium business, it becomes a large business. Dangote didn't just start today. So I encourage you to keep following us on all our social media handle. And of course, CEOG Connect, where we deal with those topical issues. But today, I have a big fish in the studio. Okay, somebody, you know, who is playing big in the agri sector. People talk about agriculture, they migrate to talking about agri-business. Now we're talking about technology in business. So I have the privilege and honor to be able to bring on screen to you today the CEO at Every Farmer, Mr. Bawa Luna.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Bawa, you are welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much.
There's no way we'll have been able to wait for the second anchor, Mr. Osai Lume, because, you know, people like you don't come by on a daily basis. So what is happening in agri-business, in technology in agri? You know, these are new ways we are hearing now. People are using drones to fly across their farm,
yes,
using the chips to run their irrigation scheme.
Yes.
Yeah, so what have you been up to, Mr. Bawa?
Okay, so for us at Every Farmer, we saw the need to provide a single platform that integrates every player in the value chain.
Okay.
One of the things that struck us at the early stage of our entrepreneurial journey was the fact that, you know, we realized that literally everybody playing within the space, you know, tend to be doing so, you know, as an island. You know, silo, you know.
So you're trying to do a kind of integration.
Yes, provide a platform.
Using the value chain approach.
The value chain approach.
Okay. Yes. For how long have you come up this agri-business space?
My journey started, I think, sometime in 2014, when I was privileged to be part of a World Bank sponsored program known as West African Agricultural Productivity Program.
Okay.
The program was focused on integrating or digitizing extension services.
Okay.
You know, but the approach was, you know, to work with the government side.
Yeah.
You know, and I saw the need instantly. I saw the need to make extension services a private sector driven
approach.
Yes.
And that's essentially what the problem is. People talk about the fact that, look, the ratio of doctors to patients should be a certain range. Mm-hmm. And also extension. I believe that if people eat well, you know, they will need less medication.
Yeah,
so tell us more about this private sector extension and what you've been doing so far with this space.
Okay, so in terms of private sector driven extension services, first you find a way to monetize those activities, you know, of the agents.
So you have to pay for service.
Yeah, you have to pay for services. I mean, it's a service. You know, the service is about bringing changes, bringing technology, bringing new methodologies to the farmers.
Yeah. I always argue with people that, you know, there's a computer language they call GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. So people put 1 billion in oil and gas, and they now put 100,000 in agri, and they expect to get the same return. You know, it doesn't fly that way.
Now that you've mentioned that would take me to, you know, data as a country, you know, what we are, you know, the reality on ground. Over the last couple of years, 3-4 years, private lending to the private sector has grown by over 18% year on year.
Yeah, it's okay.
But if you look at that whole money going to the private sector, only about 3%
is going to agriculture. And they will complain that, look, agriculture is not doing well. So that's why I said garbage in, garbage out.
And for that amount, it's surprising that agriculture seems to play a key role in our GDP.
Okay.
Over 25% of our GDP or 24% of our GDP.
So, and people are still playing at the low level.
So imagine if we put more to agriculture.
Okay.
What we can achieve.
Not just small scale now.
No,
but we're talking about technology infused.
Yes.
Yeah, you've been flying all over the world.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I mean, you just came back from India. Tell us about the experience.
Oh, it was a wonderful one. I mean, first and foremost, India is a place of marvel. I mean, like they say, incredible India. When you get to India, whatever space you're playing in, trust me, there is something to learn.
For you.
There's something to learn. In my own case, I was privileged to be the only agri-tech startup to be selected from Nigeria.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you very much. And we're about 120 across the world, that participated in the G20 in Digital Innovation Alliance.
Wow.
And I was privileged to pitch to investors and players within that space.
Okay.
And for companies that came from India, you could see that beyond digitization, which is where we are right now, they've gone on to build proprietary hardware solutions.
Okay. What does that mean? To the ordinary farmer.
Yeah. So when you're talking about, let's say, for example, irrigation now, water usage and all of that, the use of sensors, the use of weather data to power your hardware devices in the farm, they've gone far. India has gone really far in that aspect. The use of new fertilizer methodologies or approach and all of that. India is where.
So we have not even.
We haven't started. Honestly, we're scratching the surface.
Wow.
We have not started.
Wow.
There's a lot to do. Okay, amazingly, you will see what we call the keke here. They call it tuk-tuk there. You see the keke driver, using Uber.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can actually call a keke from your Uber app. That is how tech inclined these people are. Okay. This is somebody that is struggling to communicate in English.
I was in Akwa Ibom, Uyo precisely, and I was trying to call a taxi, and I saw option of keke. It was quite interesting.
Which is new to us, yeah.
Okay.
But it's normal there.
Okay.
It's already a lifestyle.
I mean, and that's the word I like. It's already a lifestyle. So we need to get all these things to the point where technology is infused to some of these things that we do.
Yes.
Okay, so let's come to every farmer.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so recently, G Consulting had to strike a partnership with you.
Yes.
Okay, so the farmers want to know. Okay, and today we're hosting the mandate secretary to FCT Agri. Okay, so tell us about that partnership.
Okay, so first and foremost, that's like a dream come true for us at Every Farmer, because that's the whole idea.
Okay.
We want to provide these tools for everybody. Anybody who has an interest in agriculture, whether you're coming as an outgrower or you're coming as a service provider, whatever the case is, we want these tools to be used because we want people, to be on board. It's like what Tesla is doing with their IP, opening it up for people to use. We saw an issue in our space where a lot of the tech platforms are closed. They are not open. And we felt if we have to move faster, if we have to adopt quicker and get to where we need to get to, we need to open up our platform for people to use. And that's the whole idea. So the moment G Consult came in, we're really excited about the partnership. We are, and we're happy that, FCT administration as a whole is now in partnership with G Consult, using this technology to onboard farmers,
Yeah, so let me talk to you today about, the idea of partnership. Most times as CEO, managing organizations, you want to do it all alone. Okay, so this is somebody who wants to dance, meet somebody who wants to beat the drum for him. It makes the dance to be very sweet. So one of the key takeaway for us today as CEO is that we should need to open up. I mean, recently we're doing a business plan for somebody who is bringing about 100 units of CNG buses into the FCT. And that's in the course of doing that business plan, it opened up our eyes to quite a number of things. Is an opportunity in transportation in the FCT. When we did that business plan with about 100 CNG buses coming in, all that buses will be converted here in Abuja. So what about those mechanics? Okay. What about, that is going to be driven on an app, ticketing. Okay. What about the drivers? Okay. So well over 200 drivers will be employed in the next 2 weeks. So as CEO, we urge you up to open up today to be able to partner with your associates so that you can drive up the space. So coming back to agribusiness and technology. Yes, explain to us really, how does the app every farmer works?
Yes. Oh, okay. So every farmer as a platform, recognizes, first what we did was to carry out a detailed analysis of players across the value chain.
Okay.
We needed to understand how the chains interact with each other.
Okay, so for the second time now you use that word, value chain.
Yes.
So, playing in silo, a farmer is an actor in the value chain.
Yes.
The marketer is an actor in the value chain. What about the aggregators, the off-takers? They are
all actors.
All actors. Yes. So you are trying to see how they can play.
How everybody can play.
Okay, so let us know.
So now look at this. Now you pick up one farmer. That farmer provides a list of transactions.
Okay.
From his farm area, you take the coordinates.
So once again, the farmer is just an actor in the value chain.
Just an actor.
It's not the main person. It's not the only person in the value chain.
It's not.
Yeah.
So on that piece of land that the farmer cultivates, you have someone who produces fertilizer. You have someone who produces chemical or sells chemical, a market for him.
Okay.
You have a space for someone who provides storage as a service. Yeah. You have a space for someone who provides logistics, transport as a service. Now, if you pick that EOP, the total value of that EOP tells you,
of production.
Yes, it tells you what the value of the farmer is at that point in time. Okay. And then by extension, the players across the value chain who would connect and plug into that EOP.
Okay.
So what we're doing is not just focus on the farmer, even though the farmer is more or less like where the whole journey starts.
It's like the anchor.
Yeah, like the anchor.
Okay.
We're also looking at the other players who are key to making sure that this farmer, what he started, gets to the end of the value chain,
which is the market.
Which is the market now. So every player in between,
is integrated.
Is integrated. There's a tool that integrates everybody.
Yeah. So bottom line, yes, the app also will help you to get the database of the farmer.
Yes.
So those words like political farmers will no longer exist again. Okay, so this app will lead you to taking the coordinates of the farm. So no two farmers can drag the same farmland again. Yes. So I want to urge you today to go out there to subscribe. Okay, we're moving on to the level where just like you have a bank account, every farmer in Nigeria and indeed Africa should be able to go to the app and subscribe and be able to log yourself in so that when there are opportunities, one of the opportunities we're working on with the FCT Agric, they have what they call the 50-50 input subsidy scheme. So we're saying, look, by the time we capture a substantial number of farmers in that database, we can also deploy the tractorization for them, which is a major headache that is happening today in the FCT. So going forward, by the next rainy season, you might be able to have the agricultural equipment hiring enterprise playing alongside with this farmers database app, which we are into partnership with every farmer. So let us quickly talk about other innovations.
Yes.
In the course of us discussing offline, you mentioned now that, look, there is a technology for you to store.
Yes.
Post-harvest loss is a major and
major
critical
issue.
problem. So can you just let us know how this new technology is going to work?
So over 23 to 24% of losses, is at post-harvest, and that is a critical source of income for the farmers, and now if you look at the cost implication of building a warehouse or a silo for our kind of system, the kind of farming population that we have, it doesn't make any sense really. It doesn't fit into that culture. So innovators have been able to come up with what we call the storage cocoon. Which is
please take note of that word. Storage cocoon.
Yes, which is like how do you call it?
Greenhouse.
Yes, like the materials used for building polythenes and all of that, but different. Of course, the manufacturers will not disclose the sources of their technology.
Just like Coca-Cola will never tell you the source of their.
But just to tell you how beautiful that technology is, there's a case of a country where I read online where they stored harvest maize for 10 years.
Yes.
There was typhoon, flooding and all of that, and after 10 years. They came and opened up that cocoon, and the maize was as good as yesterday.
Wow, beautiful. So reach out to me, Godfrey Ajayi Sunday, CEO at G Consulting. If you need to have this cocoon that Mr. Bauer just mentioned, post-harvest loss is a major headache. So we are open up to partnership. So that we can get all these things sorted out. Again, for off-takers, we're looking at partnering with quite a number of other agribusiness organizations where a situation where we can see how we can partner to get, this commodity well stored for you to come and off-take to your various locations. So, storage cocoon as a new slogan. Before I will let you go, Mr. President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, declared a state of emergency, food security. What does that really mean?
Okay, I think the president understands that food security is a major part of national security. I think
food security, national security.
Yes, national security. You cannot take away one from the other, and that is something we've learned from COVID. If at all we did not learn anything, we should have learned this from COVID, when countries literally closed their borders and even stopped the exportation of food. A lot of economists who have talked about comparative advantage, meaning, so Russia and the rest of them are cultivating wheat, we shouldn't cultivate wheat. We should buy and import wheat. Thailand and the rest of them are growing rice, we shouldn't cultivate rice, we should import. Are now having a second thought, a change of mind. Because now we understand that if you cannot feed your country, your people, it's a problem.
Even the spiritual book mentioned that you are worse than infidel if you cannot feed your household.
Thank you. So we've left that, but now we've understood that we need to come back home, even though we've been left very far, where people are, but we have the chance to catch up, and every hand has to be on deck. Thank God that the leadership of the country understands that. So entrepreneurs like you and I can key into that and help drive that process, because at the end of the day, it is you and I, the entrepreneur.
Yeah, so leaning on Mr. Luna Bauer, today, we need to have a genuine database of all our farmers in Nigeria.
Yes.
Okay? The era of political farmer, we must have to let that go from today. So you can come into partnership with us. You are a farmer organization. You are a state government. You are a local government. You want to know the identity of your true farmers. And, once you're able to get your true identity, we can use that to be able to source for funding for you to be able to address the funding need of your farmer vis-a-vis the inputs that they will get for them to do this farming. And I tell you, this app, Everyday Farmer in partnership with Farmers Biz, you can always check us out for that unique partnership for us to come and capture the database. The beauty about the database is that it leads to coordinates. So from the comfort of your office, you can zoom in to see what your farmers are doing, which is the missing link that we're having. So, and in rounding up, yes, what are the advice you will be having for the farmers and the governments?
So I think for the farmers, the key thing, like I always tell them anywhere I go, change your mindset.
Okay. So the farmers
Understand that this is a business, and not just a means of survival anymore.
Okay.
If you're cultivating 0.5 hectares, our goal, the key players in the sector, is to see that farmer with 0.5 gets to cultivate 5 hectares tomorrow. The better for everybody. And then grow that efficiency or productivity in terms of the yield per hectare from the abysmal figure that we have now to something that can compete globally. For example, in rice farming, we know that the yield per hectare for Nigeria at max is 3 metric tons. Yeah, at max, but the rest of the world are cultivating 8 metric tons, 10 metric tons. Why can't we cultivate at least at the bare minimum 5 metric tons?
Okay. So we must advise the farmer further to say, look, if you're doing less than 2 hectares and you're doing 1 season a year, there is no way you can be profitable.
There's no way.
Okay. So beyond, in addition to what Mr. Bawa is saying, there's a need for you to upscale from that 0.5 to 2. And you must of necessity try to go into 2 seasons of production.
Yes.
Okay, so wet and dry. It's still in this climate that we use those wets. Right now, anywhere you find water, you can do agriculture. Okay, so we don't necessarily have to wait for the rainy season, as we call it here, and the dry season. Okay, so just locate yourself, have a forecast of what your weather is, locate water, and go into direct production today. So, rounding off, advice for governments.
For the government, I would love to see that the government, allow the private sector to drive those policies. There's a major takeaway from the effort right from the Goodluck Jonathan administration down to the current administration. And all the policies are wonderful. The problem, however, is that there's too much of government involvement. Let government make the policies, but allow the private sector to drive these policies. That's
okay. So, in rounding up, of a necessity, there's a need for governments to have a handshake with the private sector.
Yes.
So, on this note today, we say thank you very much, Mr. Adunabawa, every farmer,
yes,
and in partnership with J Consulting under the Farmers Database. So, in the next few months, all the data of farmers in FCT will be captured, and I hope that you're a farmer. You can key in. You can reach out to us on the details scrolling on the screen. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day.